Biology Physics faculty. Here I would like to give a lecture on semiconductor compounds. In periodic table, the generally used semiconductor elements are germanium and silicon, which are comes under fourth group elements. The band gap of germanium is 0.7 electron volts, and the band gap of silicon is 1.1 electron volts. Now here we discuss how to tune this band gap by using some semiconductor compounds. This topic it played a very important role in the fabrication of LEDs and photodiodes, solar cells, and in semiconductor lasers. Now in periodic table, the third group elements are aluminum, gallium, indium. Fourth group elements silicon, germanium. Fifth group elements nitrogen, arsenic, and phosphorus. Now combine the groups of third and fifth, we get the conventional combines. So aluminum, gallium, indium are combined with nitrogen, arsenic, and phosphorus. We get some semiconductor compounds which are called conventional combines. Now here in the table I am showing the third group elements and fifth group elements combination. So here the combinations which are appears as aluminum arsenic, aluminum phosphide, indium arsenic, indium phosphide, gallium arsenic, gallium phosphide. These are called binary semiconductors. Whenever you are using such a type of combination, now that compound having its own band gap, its own effective mass, and the mobility of the compound is also changes. So they have its own effective mass and they have its own band gap. And such a type of semiconductor compounds are called binary semiconductors. For example, gallium arsenide having the band gap is 1.4 electron volts, aluminum arsenic 2.2 electron volts, gallium nitrate 3.4 electron volts, aluminum nitrate 6.1 electron volt. So by combination of these elements of third and fifth group, we are getting semiconductor compounds. They have different band gap values. We know when the band gap is changes, accordingly the emitted wavelength is also changes based on the formula lambda is equal to 12,400 by band gap. The answer directly you are getting in angstroms. Now adding of gallium arsenide with aluminum arsenide, we can tune the band gap in between 1.4 electron volt to 2.2 electron volts. What is the band gap of gallium arsenide? 1.4 electron volts. What is the band gap of aluminum arsenic? 2.2 electron volts. When we are adding these two in a proper concentration and proper percentage of doping, we can change the band gap, or the band gap varies of the resultant compound, which is in between 1.4 electron volt to 2.2 electron volts. Now let us consider, we take gallium arsenide of 30% and aluminum arsenide of 70%. Then we get the composition like aluminum, gallium, arsenide. We get the composition like aluminum, gallium, arsenide. Now aluminum composition is 0.7%, gallium is 0.3%, 30%. Okay, arsenic. Such a type of compounds are called ternary compounds. In this way you have quaternary compounds like that. So aluminum gallium arsenide is a ternary semiconductor compound. Then general notation we represented as AlX, Ga1 minus X, As. Now if X is equal to 1 in this equation, what happens? If X is equal to 1, then this gallium value is equal to 0. 1 minus 1 is equal to 0. Then this expression you can call it as aluminum arsenide. Now what is the energy gap of this? 2.2 electron volts. If X is equal to 0, then This expression is comes under gallium arsenide. Its wavelength is 1.4 electron volts. Suppose when we draw a graph, on x-axis we take the doping concentration, and y-axis you take the energy gap. At x is equal to 0, it is gallium arsenide and its band gap is 1.4 electron volts. At x is equal to 1, the compound is a aluminum arsenide. Its band gap is 2.2 electron volts. So the graph appears in the form of a straight line. And in some compounds it should be appears in the form of a parabolic. Okay, but here it is appears in the form of straight line. So whenever the doping concentration is making to increase or changes, then accordingly the band gap is varies in between 1.4 electron volt to 2.2 electron volts. In this way, by variation of the doping, we can change the band gap of the semiconductor compounds. This is called the tuning of band gap of a semiconductors. This concept it played a very important role to make a number of semiconductor compounds in the fabrication of LEDs, photodiodes and semiconductor lasers. Now, similarly, the second group elements are combined with sixth group elements, not fifth, sixth group elements. Then we get low band gap semiconductor compounds. When the band gap is very small, then the obtained wavelength is very large. So here the obtained wavelength which is lies in the range of the middle of IR region. So such a type of compounds which are very suitable to detect the middle IR region. And the third group elements, what are the third group elements? The third group elements, aluminum, gallium, indium, is combined with nitrogen in a fifth group. We get semiconductor nitrates. These semiconductor nitrates which are very useful in the fabrication of white LEDs, and such a type of semiconductor compounds are called thallium nitrates. Nowadays it makes a lot of business, and nowadays we are using the household purpose, we are using such a type of LED, white light LEDs, right, which are comes under third nitrates, and which are very useful in the fabrication of or in the manufacturing of household bulbs like that. Now, heterostructure. What is meant by heterostructure? One layer placed on another layer fabrication. So one layer is made with some semiconductor compound, and another layer is another semiconductor compound. And when one layer is placed on another layer in the fabrication, then such a type of structure is called heterostructure. And in this case, when you fabricate any number of layers one by one, the entire material should be behaves as a crystal. So whenever it is called as a crystal, at every point the crystal lattice should maintain the same environment with its neighbor atoms or molecules. So the crystal lattice must be matched. So in this diagram, this is layer 1 which is having some crystal lattice arrangement, and this is layer 2, this is having some crystalline arrangement. When we put a layer on another layer, this lattice matching is very important. For that purpose, in the fabrication and in epitaxy method, due to the atom strain, it may cause the distance between the two atoms, it may be extended or compressed to maintain the same crystal lattice. Whenever such a type of arrangement is exist in between the two layers, then you can put that layer on another layer. Otherwise, this situation is not possible. For example, in the first layer, the lattice constant is 5 angstroms. In the second layer, the lattice constant is 4.9 angstroms. Then when we place one layer on another, due to the lattice strain and compression and extension of the between the atoms, so the crystal lattice it should be matched, and such a type of semiconductors which are exist in the fabrication. Suppose the lower layer having the lattice constant of 5 angstroms and the upper layer having the lattice constant of 2 angstroms, then the compression and extension which is not possible. So such a type of fabrication is not possible. So all compositions epitaxy is not possible. Whenever the lattice matching is existing between the two layers, such type of epitaxy methods are exist. It is completely comes under the high material science concepts. Now, gallium arsenide and second layer is gallium nitride. This is not possible. So in this case, the lattice matching does not exist. Aluminum gallium nitride, gallium is placed on gallium nitride. It is possible. In this case, the lattice matching is exist. So the growing of material on another material is called epitaxy. The growing of material on another material is called epitaxy. Now here, let us consider how this lattice constant is varies. Now this is the concentration doping concentration value. At x is equal to 0, this is x, okay. At x is equal to 0, this is a gallium arsenide. At x is equal to 1, it is a aluminum arsenide. So gallium arsenide having the lattice constant value is around 5 angstroms. Aluminum arsenide, which is having the lattice constant value, is around 4 angstroms. When you make composition, then here the lattice constant, which is varies in between 5 angstrom to 4 angstroms in case of aluminum gallium arsenide. In this way, we can study about lattice matching, and you are making the epitaxy method for growing of material on another material. Next one is band energy diagram of heterostructures. For example, in case of the first layer is gallium arsenide, second layer is aluminum gallium arsenide, and third layer is gallium arsenide. So what is the band gap of the gallium arsenide? 1.4 electron volts. And aluminum gallium arsenide band gap, which is varies in between 1.4 electron volts to 2.2 electron volts, right? Which is shown in previous diagram. This value which is varies in between 1.4 electron volts to 2.2 electron volts. So this is varying band gap. The band gap is increases by doping of aluminum arsenide. So here the band gap is increases, and in the third layer the band gap is again 1.4 electron volts, right? Now when we construct such a type of band energy diagram, the band energy diagram is appears like this. So the structure, it contains many such type of arrangements. Then the band diagram is appears in the form of periodic, which is very useful in the fabrication of a number of photodetectors. This is one case. Suppose the middle band gap is less, then what happens? Now let us consider the lower layer is gallium arsenide, the middle layer is indium gallium arsenide, and third layer is gallium arsenide. Now the diagram, the band energy diagram is appears like this. So first, in the first layer, the energy gap is 1.4 electron volts. Indium gallium arsenide, here the band gap is decreases. So band gap is decreases and the band gap is increases. Now in between the two gallium arsenides, there is a well. That well is known as quantum well. In this well, the electrons and holes which are accumulated. Suppose when you are fabricate such a type of number of indium gallium arsenide structures in between the gallium arsenide, then the entire structure, it contains a number of quantum wells. Now what is the importance of this quantum well in the fabrication of heterojunction laser and LED? So here I will explain somewhat shortly how this is useful in the fabrication of heterojunction laser. For example, let us consider homojunction laser or homojunction LED. So this is the band energy diagram. This is the band energy diagram. The first one is the band energy diagram of the homojunction layer. In case of homojunction laser and LED, what happens? The electrons which are moving from N region to P region at the depletion region, due to the direct recombination with the hole, the light energy is emitted. So in this process, when the electrons are moving from N region to P region, some electrons are recombined, some electrons are entered to the P region. So all electrons which are moving from N region to P region are not participate in the recombination. Some electrons which are entered the P region. So here the efficiency is somewhat less. But I need all electrons and holes, they make recombination. Then you will get the efficient light. For that purpose, you are making heterojunction laser. The second diagram, that is a band energy diagram of the heterojunction laser. Now here what happens? When the electron is moving from n region to p region, there is a quantum well. So these electrons which are accumulated in this well, so here there is no chance to travel directly from n region to p region. These electrons and holes, they are accumulated in the quantum well. So the number of electrons and hole, there is a chance to recombine and produce the efficient light. So that is the advantage with heterojunction concept. Now, how to find the composition fractions? For that purpose, here I mentioned one simple example. Find the composition of indium 1 minus X, gallium X, arsenic Y, P, phosphorus 1 minus X lattice matching with indium gallium arsenide phosphide with indium phosphide at wavelength of 1.3 micrometer. Given X is equal to 0.45 Y and energy gap expression is parabolic. So in our example, it appears I am showing as a straight line, but in some materials it comes in the form of parabolic form. For lambda is equal to 1.3 micrometers, then what is the energy gap value? We know the formula, 1.242 electron volts by 1.3 micrometers. We get the energy gap value is 0.954 electron volts. Now substitute this value in the polynomial equation of the energy gap. So EZ is equal to 1.35 minus 0.92y plus 1.2y square. Then we are getting the quadratic equation. By solving this equation, I got y is equal to 0.611. Now what is the expression for x? X is equal to 0.45y. So x is equal to 0.24275. Now the composition In 1 minus x. So 1 minus is 1 to 1 minus 0.275, 0.72. Gallium X 0.27. Arsenic Y 0.611. Phosphorus 1 minus X 0.389. In this manner, by taking off the energy gap equation, there is a lot of mathematical calculations are there, but for simple understanding purpose, here I am mentioned one example how to find this composition, right? So I think all of you understand this video lecture. Thank you for listening. Okay, thank you.